All right, hey, it's Amethyst Virgo. So I'm here to talk about the different types of signs. So here's what I mean, the different prototypes of each sign. I'm probably not doing all signs in this video. I'm going to kind of mix it up a little bit. So this is not in order. I'm sorry, it's not Aries, Taurus, Gemini. I just thought of this randomly. And one thing I do want to share, those of you who know me know, I work off knowledge. If you watch my videos, you'll see that it's not a bashing session. It's not my own personal bias. I like understanding the planets, the rules of astrology, in order to really understand how it impacts the signs, right? However, I do tend to have some let me move this back a bit. I do tend to have some videos that are just real. Let's talk about the realness of it. There are shadow sides of each sign. There are people that can represent the worst energies of their sign. The problem that happens is when people want to pigeonhole everyone into one bucket. Okay, so I kind of want to talk about what is the different types of each sign, the prototype, the type of person you may notice. Okay, because there's pros and cons to everything in life, right? So let's start with Aries. Okay, again, I'm not going in order. I just happen to start with Aries. You can have an Aries person that is the do-gooder type. The I'm going to save everybody. I'm so brave. Everyone is going to benefit from my courage. I'm going to initiate projects. I'm going to initiate things. I care about being successful. That might be the type of Aries person that you tend to meet, that you tend to know. And they do exist. These are, I'm thinking of one right now. This Aries person is not very egotistical. They're more of a do-gooder. They're more of the initiator. They're more of the, I'm going to champion like the projects and things that I'm in charge of. I'm going to do them really well. That's what this person I'm thinking of does, right? Now, you have the other Aries people that rely too much on being seen as important. I need to be important. I need to be seen. Notice me. You can sometimes see Aries people do something impulsively just for a laugh. And sometimes they're funny. Some Aries people I've met actually are funny. But sometimes they go overboard. So this is the kind of more the goofier type of Aries. I'm doing something to be funny. Notice me. Type of energy that you can sometimes see in a person where it is very clear that they want to be noticed and seen, but it's not like for their talent. It's not always like Leo might be known for their talent, but Aries, it's like, I just did this thing. I just did this antic. Here, watch, look at me. Right. But I do think the benefit to that second type is the funny type of Aries, where you do have the more goofy people, the people that kind of just let you just laugh. And the reason I say it's important is because, I have a fire Mercury. So I actually do a fire moon too, but I do enjoy humor. But I think my disposition sometimes for some people might make them think that I don't, but I do, right? So like I like funny people, but I'm a Virgo also, so I like people that make me think. Like, don't just do something weird and funny. Like, okay, cool. Like if it's a kid, yeah, you can laugh at the kid, but like, so that's just something like that humor part that Aries can sometimes bring. You can see in that second type. I think that's really cool sometimes to get other people to open up. And so to get other people to have feeling like you don't have to be so uptight. So I do like that. Now, the third type of Aries person you will get, you'll see there's a bossy level. There is now their Mars energy is centered around getting people to do things for them. And there can be a very self-absorbed nature. This is where you get the stereotype of Aries as don't care about anyone else. It's all about them, single-minded. You also, the third type, you could get the third type that is the bullying behavior. Okay, remember, total Aries without the absence of a balancing factor like Libra can overdo the self-actualization. So you sometimes can get the bullying factor because there's an unawareness of how other people feel. This is not a water sign, right? This is a sign that's in opposition to Libra. So this is the first sign of the zodiac. And sometimes it can manifest in some people in that regard. Now, again, these are the three common types. Some of y'all might be a blend of both, right? You might be a blend of all three in some way. Sag. Well, you have the Sag person that wants to help people. You have the Sag person that wants to help people. They really do want to carry on the burdens of society. They care about how we're treating people because we need to be moral and we need to be ethical and we have to do the right thing. These are the Sagittarius who have more of that helpful nature, that more communal nature, that more we're going to do something to help this person because it's the right thing to do type of nature. You then have the Sagittarius who are very adventurous. And sometimes you can have adventure be really purposeful, right? But you sometimes can have adventure be just to experience something, which isn't bad. But when you lose your purpose as a Sag person, you then get caught up in a lot of different things you didn't mean to. So now you're wrapped up doing something that you don't really have any feelings towards, and then you stop doing it. And then you feel that you're being inconsistent. That's because, Sag, you weren't really aware what you wanted in the first place, but you need to constantly feed that excitement, that need for newness, and that need for experience that you went with something. It could be relationships, it could be work related, it could be whatever. It could be you said you were going to go on a trip with someone, and now you realize, I don't want to go there, right? So it can lead the Sag person who's too adventurous to committing to things that you didn't mean to do in the first place, right? And at your best, you should be able to find adventures that are purposeful and really lead to the kind of life that you want, right? And the truth that you're seeking, whatever experience that you're seeking, you should be able to do that. But sometimes the Sag person is too impulsive, wants to get involved in anything, wants to get involved in everything. And this can even lead into relationship issues. Like, you can't commit because you're trying, I want to date this person. I met this person. I was talking to this person online. So that's something just to keep in mind. Now, you can have the Sag individual that bends the truth. There is now, Sag is supposed to be the truth, but remember, Sag can exaggerate sometimes. Now, if you put a certain placement, you put Sag in a certain house, you're going to get an exaggerator. Bends the truth, doesn't really tell it straight up. Now, again, remember, I'm saying this is the worst case scenario. I just told y'all about the one that wants to help people and is moral and truthful. That's the first type. I mentioned that. But you can get the Sag that plays with the truth, the Sag that knows the broad picture so well. They can play people very well. So that's one thing to keep in mind for that type. And there can be like a level sometimes with Sag of being crass, of being belligerent, of being offensive, of cursing, of telling your truth in a little too much of a raw way. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I'm a moon in Sag too, but I don't really curse in public. I curse more like by myself, or like in certain situations, but I don't really like I don't really do it in public. And I'm not judging people who do, because sometimes sometimes some stuff is funny, but I you know what I mean. Like, so I'm more, again, the Virgo rising sun, more conscious of my image and having to project a certain level of tact is what I tend to do. And there's nothing wrong with the Sagittarius who are more blunt and raw. Like I said, some of them are really, really funny in that way, have like a really good wittiness to them. So it's usually the ones that bend the truth that actually have a really good wittiness to them as well. The Virgos, okay. Well, you have the Virgo who is the critic, the critiquer. These are the ones that y'all think we all are. I told y'all, I don't really care what people are doing unless it affects me or someone else and it's hurting somebody. I don't tend to do that. I can critique anything, but I don't tend to make unnecessary comments. I don't see the point. Unless I'm working on something or it's my business, right? This is the Virgo who must be right. And again, this can probably help them. They're probably really good at work if they're working like some type of field where they have to be accurate. But this is the person who makes the comments that are unnecessary. These are the people that have to say, oh, well, why are you wearing that? Or, hey, did you notice this? Or, I noticed that you were like 10 minutes late coming back from your break. Just make sure that, like that is that type of Virgo. It is, I'm noticing things in order to tell you I noticed that. And that is not Virgo at its best. Virgo at its best is helping something refine and become better. But you do have the Virgos that are the must be right, must notice something, must say something, must get in your business type, critique you just because you notice something. Now, you have the Virgos next who are really just helpful. These Virgos tend to like to give advice. These Virgos tend to like to fix things. They want to fix it. They're not saying something because they want to critique you, but they want to fix something. They want to improve something. They want to say that they notice something, right? Like, and again, it's about tact. It's about tact. I have a coworker, and the other day I was like, I told her that something that she something was peeking out. Her scarf was coming undone, right? So I just said, oh, your scarf. That is a very personable conversation. No, I'm not screaming down the hall. Your scarf, you know what I mean? Like, you get what I'm saying? So there's a certain level of tact. And you could tell the Virgo, if they're being helpful, by how they're approaching you. If it's you did this wrong, that is different than, oh, by the way, and it's the approach that the person has. So you can have the advice type of Virgos. Now, again, can you be any type of Virgo anywhere? Sure. You might be more of a critiquer at your house than you are at work, because you're like, hey, this house doesn't look the way it needs to look, right? So that's something to keep in mind. But the second type of Virgo is that more helpful Virgo. They like to give advice. They like to help you through with a problem. They want to fix something. They want to give a solution to something, but they're really not doing it in a way to really offend anyone. The third type is just very anxious, very over the top, can be very high strung. This is the very nervous Virgo. This is the Virgo that does have some insecurity issues, perhaps, because Virgo is, we notice everything. And you think everybody else notices everything too when you're a Virgo. You think everyone else is going to notice you or see that you did that thing wrong or notice that this is wrong or, oh man, oh man, it's easy. You know, I spilled something on my shirt and it's splashed. Oh, they're going to notice it, right? Like that's extreme. But the self-conscious Virgos who can sometimes self-project perhaps, so I don't think that is all the Virgos. I do think all of us do have a level of awareness of like, that could look wrong. That could look wrong. But you could have the really high-strung, nervous Virgos who are very insecure in everything, who fixate too much on certain things. And honestly, I've had to learn not to fixate on, I don't fixate on certain things. Right, which is why sometimes I'll do a video and be like, yeah, it's not perfect, but oh well, I don't care. Here you go. Like, here, you like it or you don't like it. So I do think that you would have to just see the Virgo out to see which type of Virgo that is. And of course, you can have people being a mix of different types of energies. But that's something just to keep in mind there. So that's it for this video. It's 11 minutes and I'm going to do the next one. So if you guys want, can you please drop in the comments, which 3 signs should I do next?